describe the project now. This process will create incidental line. You will not have control of the resulting line. The actions that you choose to use will dictate the quality of the line. The line will be the result of an action, not the normal purposeful line that you might create in a representational drawing. The line/image created will be non-objective. Representational art mimics a 3D world. Abstract art shows a 3D world as a point of departure that the artist alters for aesthetic or content purposes. Now, basically, I'm going to be doing an India ink incidental line, and I'm going to be dipping this red cup into this India ink I have here in this styrofoam bowl. I'll be doing the bottom of the cup, and I'm going to be spinning it. Now, I'm going to be spinning the rim of the top of the cup, and I'm going to create basically incidental lines through this action that I not so much direct, but create through the action itself. This is not to create a certain form, just to create lines to mimic the 3D world. So let's go ahead and get started. Now this India ink is very thick when it's not diluted. So you'll see a lot of smudges on the edges here. And really, I probably should dilute it because it's a little hard to continuously make any, ink blot, I guess you could say, through this incidental line, unless I dilute it. It's sticking a lot to the styrofoam bowl, but just going to try to do the action and not focus on, what I'm creating necessarily. See how this turns out. Trying to, create a certain level of positive and negative space, trying to fill up the page without truly directing this ink with the cup. So this paper is Arnhem, and it's the first time I've used this kind of paper, especially this big, but I do like its surface. Quickly using up the amount of India ink, the black India ink that I put into the styrofoam bowl. But that's okay. Bought it specifically for this purpose. Just making sure to get as much as I can on the bottom before I start these incidental lines. One more. Just gonna go from an edge. Not directing it. Okay. This one isn't especially dense, but I wasn't really planning on what I was doing here, so I think it turned out quite well. I'll go ahead and go to the next idea I have for the next incidental line drawing, and I'll see you in a second. All right, this next piece using incidental lines, a little bit hard to say for some reason for me, but I'm going to be using the black India ink dropper. Going to be basically flinging it using the dropper and seeing what kind of lines are created, basically. There's a reason I have this sheet here, because otherwise I'd be getting this completely everywhere. Might need to even spread it out further. Now these flinging motions are just kind of in, non-directed lines. Just kind of like flinging it and seeing what happens. Now there's not a great degree of positive versus negative space, but I think that it is filled up with the proper amount of splatters as far as, not trying to direct it. And I think that's what is going to basically be produced. Might add a couple more splatters. Then I'm going to go ahead and move that one off and go on to maybe, I might use something else besides India ink. We'll see in just a sec. See you in a minute. Alright everyone, so this next one is still going to be using black India ink, but I added a little bit of water. And I'm using what's left in this bowl. The water is allowing it to actually still continue to be useful without me throwing it away. So I'm going to be employing that, and then I'm going to be using this small broom. I'm going to be, I guess you can call it a broom, it's very small. I'm going to be dipping it in that, and then kind of just circular motions. That's what I think I'm going to do with this, because it's a very circular shape. I want to see what happens. But yeah, and this is still Arnhem paper. This is the third piece that I have, and this will be the last Arnhem. I haven't used this paper before, once again, but dab it in there. And that's not producing nearly as much as I would have expected. If I get more on there, it's pretty dry. That might be the reason. Very scratchy. Like get it coagulated there on the side. Get a good amount on there. Maybe I should have added more water. That might have helped. Very scratchy. It's a really interesting production of line. Didn't really know what to expect from small broom. Thought that more of these strands would be coated, but it makes sense that the amount I have in here that they wouldn't. Randomly directed. And I actually don't mind how that turned out. Once again, at the, well, I might not have mentioned this, but at the end of the project, the 10 pieces are completed, and we cut out different sections of each piece and kind of combine them. So this is the end of this one. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do next, but I'll see you in a second. Alright everyone, so the last piece in the 4 pieces I'm doing tonight for this video, it's not going to be done by India ink. It's going to be done by Peel and Sketch Charcoal, which I've literally never used, at least not to my memory. I might have used it in the past and just don't remember. But it has to be an incidental line, so I have to kind of like loosely just like fling my wrist around. I'm not trying to direct it. So I think I have to apply fixative to it. I'm going to apply fixative to it, which comes in a can, like a spray can. You probably can't see it from that angle, but Here it is. And this apparently will fix the charcoal. Yeah, the charcoal to the paper. But I've never really used these peel and sketch to my knowledge, so I'm not sure really how it's going to turn out. If it's like regular charcoal, if it's like Vine, if it's like hard. It looks like hard. But just gonna try to like fling my wrist around and see what happens. Just kind of like my wrist is broken, which I've had my wrist broken. Yeah, it's this wrist. It's like, how do you not remember which wrist you broke? No, it's this one, because when I turned it this way, yeah, I broke that mountain biking, so it actually hurts when I turn it that way. But I'm just going to try to fling my wrist around in this direction and see what it produces. But I'm not going to try to direct it too much. Well, that's goddamn terrible. Okay. Here's my explanation of an incidental line, everybody. Oh, Jesus. It actually kind of feels like it did when it was broken, actually. Just snapping all that stuff back into place in the hospitals, like, just all the bones were crinkling. Oh, God. That's not a memory I want to relive. Since it's my right hand, it's obviously going in like a diagonal fashion, but I'm really trying not to control it. I mean, I guess this is like a good representation of abstract or modern art, everybody. It's not something I usually do, but I mean, I kind of like it if I do enough motions, like just randomly fling my wrist around. Never know what's going to come out. Luckily, my wrist is on a ball like everybody's wrist, so it's not really creating any like straight lines. I don't know what I'm doing. This is incidental line, apparently. At least this is what I think I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, yeah. I don't know how long I should keep doing this. I feel like it's getting lower, so it's actually creating some shaded lines, which is interesting to me. Try not to like pierce the paper, but it's pretty thick paper. Let me see what kind of paper this is. This is Reeves BFK, which means absolutely nothing to me, but I don't really use thick papers like this. Okay, well, actually, I think that's a proper representation of, like, the charcoal I'm using and flinging my wrist around. So, I mean, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't know how long I'm supposed to do this, actually, for the project. I feel like I might overdo it if I just keep on doing it forever. It'll just be, like, static on a paper. But no, I'm happy with that. All right, so I'm gonna actually see if this removes my finger a little bit, and I might apply some fixative to it. Might not. Haven't worked with this before, but hey, thank you everybody for watching. This is the fourth one out of this 10 pieces I'm supposed to do, and I will create the next 6 like tomorrow or the next day. So I'll make a video for that too. Thank you very much for watching, and hey, I hope you got something out of this because I kind of did. Thank you very much.